What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Town Hall Meeting with the Mayor. I am your host, Eugene Man Roberts. And today, I got my bro, bassist, singer, songwriter, amazing producer, my guy, Mr. Kaveh Rastegar.
Kaveh, what are you doing, man? What's going on? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, man. It's great to see you too. It's great to hear from you and seeing that you're doing this because we're all adapting and making good stuff.
Yeah, what you been up to?
I've been doing we're all I've been doing a lot, man. I've been out on the road. I've been doing gigs. Been gigging every night. No,
Yeah, 6 months ago. No.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like it's been a trip. Like everything stopped. I was out on the road with Sting, and we just
Shout out to that. How was that? How was it to get that call?
Oh man, it was I mean, it was one of those things, one of those dreams. It's like been listening to him since I was a little kid, and he's a bass player, and he's to get to play.
What's your ultimate gig like that? Hey, if I could, this is my most iconic. I would love to.
Oh, let's put me on the spot, man. Iconic gig would be, I mean, probably stuff you've already done, like getting to play with Stevie. Getting to sit in with Stevie Wonder, getting to play a song with Stevie Wonder. That's an iconic gig for me. Getting to I got to meet Paul McCartney one time, and maybe getting to play with him. Like people like that, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, that's just one of them, man. Like that's just he's the best, and talking about bass and stuff like that. Every night he would sit down by me,
Right.
and and we talk about he told me some Jocko stories, like 'cause they knew each other back in the day, so I was working with him, and when this whole thing happened, it's just and there was that, and then there was a lot of stuff that you and I had planned, and how it goes. There's and when everything stops like that, you got to just kind of like circle the wagons, and for me, I live in LA. I went right back to LA, and I'm a father, as you are. And so a big part of my job, because my girls are young, 7 and 9, big part of my week has been educating them, picking up the slack with their teachers. And their mom is a teacher, and she and I split up, but we're working together. We're co-parenting. So, but she's a teacher, so she's got to teach during the week. So I teach the kids during the week.
Yeah, because
and then both. Yeah, you get that time working on all that stuff. So it's really valuable time that you get to spend, with your kids, and then when
I always tell people this is like a fast forward in life. Whereas like you get a preview of what life can be in like 5-10 years. Or like my thought was always like, how can I make money at home so I can stay home and not go on the road? Like that whole thought process. And this is kind of like you're forced into it. So now when we go back to our normal things, now it's just like, okay, you keep this going and you do that.
Yeah.
I think that's my
Yeah, no, I hear you. Like, I mean, like you said, you're sharpening a lot of skills that are valuable. And it's like, until you're faced with the reality of it, you might not make that move to just kind of invest your time to work on, learning that new program or doing the video editing, like you said, or whatever else that you're working on. And so the same goes with me. And I see that with musicians all over. We see that where, I've got a studio that I work out of, and my reality has been, during this quarantine, has been, like I said, working with my girls, educating them. But when I'm not with them throughout the week, sessions kind of pile up for me, and so when I don't have them, I've just been spending days getting songs out for different artists and different producers, and
some of the people you working with, if you can say,
if I can say, yeah, I mean, there, well, you know how it is, like with production projects, you can't always talk about them. But yeah, I mean, it's all across the board, man. Like there's some stuff. A really cool one recently has been able to work with the great producer and great songwriter, Butch Walker. He's worked with everybody, Taylor Swift, and there's all types of people, and he's doing a couple. I think I can talk about this. There's a few songs for the artist Matt Nathanson that we've been doing, and it's funny. It's been a lot of upright that I've been doing sessions for, because a lot of producers play electric bass. So
right,
it's one of those things where it's like, it's been nice having that, having the ability to record double bass, have a couple mics set up, bow.
I was saying that about just musicians overall. Like, we always talk about how we met, like just our love for gear and owning gear, and just like there's nothing like having your own, especially like now. Because think about it, there's some people that's like, oh man, I wish I could shed right now. Why can't you? Oh man, I can't get in the studio right now, or I can't. How many artists can't support themselves?
I know, and there's some artists I'm working with right now that they're world-class singers and world-class, like, people that about, everyone knows about, that are all of a sudden they're just like, they're in their house in Atlanta, or they're in their apartment in New York or whatever, and they always worked with an engineer. And, right. So like all of a sudden it's like, there's a record project I'm working on right now where the label is sending the artist a mic, Pro Tools setup, a tutorial. And there's 2 songs I have on the record that I'm like, I don't want my song to be the one that she kind of learns Pro Tools on. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you want it to be like the 3rd or 4th once she understands, editing, and she can kind of like let loose and really comfortably sing or whatever. So
knowing like this is not the best we got, you know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. And then also, what's a trip? I mean, it's like, I was talking to a buddy of mine. He's Mike Valerio. He's one of for those of you, a lot of people don't know who he is, but everyone's heard him. He's played on every movie that's come out since 2000, like all the John Williams movies, Star Wars movies, whatever. He's like the bass player out here. And we always talk shit about everything. We're talking about, like all the noise that's getting into everybody's recordings, like all these recordings that have come out during this time. Like 10 years ago, it was all about Beat Detective and about like, just making everything like on the grid and everything. But now it's all about hearing that gardener outside or hearing the birds. That's going to be making all those tracks, which it's like, unless
I'll make.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's what life's been, man. Like, it's just been like my kids, and just kind of like everything slows down, but it's been really meaningful at the same time. It's like, it's this weird antsy kind of thing where you're just forced to look at yourself in the mirror and just be like, all right, this is what we got. This is what we have. These are the tools I have to work with to, make it work,
This is a question I like to ask people.
Yeah.
What's the funniest story? What's the funniest thing that has happened to you on stage?
Oh man. Oh boy. Man, there's so many, and I love those stories. I love you and I have had some, and right now, my, I'm not gonna, say anything, but you and I had a good one. I'm just gonna say kids, Italy. I'm just gonna say those 2 words, and you know what I'm talking about.
What we just texted about the other day.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, a good one. What's a good one for me? I mean, I love train wreck stories. I don't love them when they're happening, but I love train wreck stories. And a good one for me was, I used to play in this Italian band. You've heard me talk about him all the time. His name's Luciano Ligabue. He's like the biggest singer in Italy. Yeah, Ligabue. And we had a gig in Sicily where we were playing in this stadium, a soccer stadium. And we were downstairs in the dressing room of the stadium, like getting ready. Guitar players like primping their hair. Everybody's getting their monitors in. Everybody's making sure they look good. You know, everybody runs. They do the big huddle. You know, here we go. You know, and usually there's 2 cars leading, you know, everybody out around the stadium into the track of the stadium. Everybody gets out, and boom, it's like time to hit the stage running, like crazy crowds, like fully sold out. And, you know, big screen, you know, behind us, like filming us going on stage, you know, that whole treatment, like the big dramatic thing. And we're downstairs underneath the stage, and there's usually 2 cars taking the band all the way around, you know, boom, you know, to the thing. They're like the 2 sponsor cars, whatever it was for the tour. And we do the thing. It's time to hit the stage, and you hear the crowd going crazy upstairs. Like it's ready because the announcement's already happened and we got to get in these cars. So we open the door to the garage, and there's 1 car, you know, it's like there's supposed to be 2 cars. There's just 1 car. And it was just like, oh shit, you know, like, and then this one guy's like, you know, oh, you know, talking, you know, the bodyguard of Luciano is just like, Valerio, dove sei? Where are you? You know, dove cazzo sei? Where the fuck are you? You know, like, pardon my French. And anyhow, everybody, finally, Luciano, the singer, is just like, everybody, get in the car, you know, because it's like, you know, it's about to happen, man. We got to get on stage. And so driver gets in the front, you know, the bodyguard, the artist, the MD gets in the front seat with the artist, like, jumps on his lap. It was like this like weird kind of like, you know, like clown car. All of a sudden it was like, you know, fucking, you know, like clown car. And then prima donna guitar player 1 gets in, boom, you know, space for days. Prima donna guitar player 2 gets in, no problem. Other keyboard player gets in, no problem. And then there's the 2 Americans in the band, Michael Urbano, great drummer, and me, the rhythm section. And me, I'm 6'6". I'm a freaking giant. Right. And there's no space in this car except for in the trunk of the car, like in the hatchback of the car. And it's like, we're like, are you kidding me? Like, are you freaking really? You know, and we're like, okay. So we like just get in there, like our knees are up to our chins. And we're like getting the big dude like shuts the. What's that?
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, gotta do what you gotta do. So we like hop in the car, and then the car just goes racing around the stadium. We're racing around the stadium. We all have our in-ears in, and we're like, get on the thing. We're just like going like 80 miles per hour around the stadium. We get in, like, we stop. I remember like staring right at Michael. We're just like, oh shit, you know, we got to get it. And you hear the car doors open, then close. And we're going, guys. And like nothing. They freaking leave us in the car. Like the drummer and the bass player, like we're locked in the trunk of the car, and they're just running to the stage, you know, and, you know, whatever. And then I just crawl out and like,
train wreck.
What's that?
It had to be a train wreck.
Dude, it was, I mean, you know, and there's video of it too. It's like a gig in like 2010 in Palermo at the stadium. And you could see like the crowd just.
If we find this video, he's going to send me this link.
Okay, I'll send it to you. Yeah.
Show the people what, you know, what y'all was doing, man. What y'all was doing.
You know, and that's what I love, man. Like that's what we do. It's like, there's so many things that could go wrong in a show. And part of what most people don't know is that everyone's so dedicated to what they do that they're able to, you know, shift and move and boom, you know, like make things work and make it look like it's not a big deal. And I've seen it 1,000 times with shows with us and with John, where it's like, you know, oh, you know, like,
yeah, it is.
Yeah, like, you know, whatever happened, or like somebody misses a step or whatever, or like something happens and to the audience, it's just like another great show. And that's what's amazing. But when it all falls apart, that's the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah. Because it's like, no. You know what? All right. You just got to let it rock. One of my stories was with John. We were, you know, when you're on tour, the first like 8 songs never change. So you're
Right.
just like, you memorize that. Like as learning the show, you know, you memorize at least the first half of the show, at least the first. And out of nowhere, we had like a random 45-minute set opening for Stevie. And it was just like, we literally changed the 3rd song in the set. So I'm like, play. Next song, play. Next song, play. He looks at me like, no. I said, man, we already in it now, baby.
Oh.
I wasn't going to stop. Oh, it was Get Lifted. Like, we was in Get Lifted. Like, we were like, play the intro and stop. All right, guys. On to the next. Like, it was just, boy, that was it.
God. And then he runs to the front of stage, just like, okay, you know, no. Yeah.
I was like, I was stressed out. We laughed it off. The heat of it, it was just like, because he looking at me like, no. I'm like, yeah. You know how you know you right? I was like, yeah. I was like,
that shit's funny, man. It's funny. Or people falling is always really funny to me. You know, I remember playing.
Remember we was in LA and we did that thing?
Dude
gave him the bro, and the lights went out, bro.
Yeah. And we had to stay still, and I got my bass, and I was just like, oh no, like I got to help this guy up, and then like everything's honest. This guy's like face down right in front of me.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yo.
Or
what's something you want to tell like some like I won't say young up and coming, because at this point people at all ages are doing everything. So what's a piece of advice or like a hope that you have for people like right now, just in life?
Oh man, that's a good question. I think right now during this pandemic and this strange time where the everything's up in the air. It's like, it's upside down. Everything's crazy. I mean, I'd say the biggest thing that I wish for everybody I care about and everybody that's doing something is just to have like a little victory in life, a small victory in life, and that could be, so for musicians, it could be like, if you're starting off as a musician and you're just getting started on the bass, and, that little victory could be, finally learning that bass line that you just always wanted to learn, or that thing that got you to actually
made you want to pick up a bass.
The thing that made you want to pick it up. And like, let's say you're a kid that's starting out, or you're like a grown man in his 40s or 50s, and you're like, I always wanted to pick up the bass, boom, and you finally do it. I mean, that's what I wish for my friends, my family, my little cousin, like everybody that's like, because those victories, they lead to everything else. Like I can trace back anything that's ever happened that was good to me to those first little things where it was like, you show yourself that you can do it. And now in this climate where, we don't have the ability to go and, play gigs or get together and just play with other musicians, it can seem really like abstract, like there's no, there's no bottom to it. But I would just say like, keep writing those goals and keep those goals together, where it's like, it's one of those things where I've never been through a pandemic, and neither has anyone living on this planet, so no one knows exactly how this is going to go. But I have a good feeling that we're going to get back. It's going to get back and get going again. And all of a sudden, the phone's going to fill up with calls and texts and, and opportunities to work and all that other stuff, whether it be in music or whatever you got going in your life. And this kind of unique time where you just have nothing but time is never going to happen again. And that's the hard part about right now, where it's like some people might be worrying about like chaos in their lives and how to, you know, make ends meet or whatever it is, if it's family stuff or drama or whatever. But if we can try to take advantage of this time to just do, like, to sharpen one's skill, like you said, like you're shedding on certain aspects of gear. With me, man, I've been listening to records that people have been talking about for years. Like, you know how you got that thing where, like, you know, somebody always talks about that classic album and it's just like, you're almost afraid to admit it. Like, yo, I never even heard so-and-so.
You go back and now you know it. And now you understand why they had a greater love for it.
Yeah, you got that time now to do that. So that for me is like, I mean, it's simple, but just if you can, but at the same time, don't kill yourself over not using all the time to its greatest potential, because again,
everybody's lives are different. You know, you got to teach.
Yeah.
I'm helping my kid with, you know, college stuff right now. You know, he's,
yes,
you know,
sir.
Digital graduation, you know, like different things like that. So
yeah.
It's just,
wow.
You know, it's all good, but you know, we just hope for the best.
Congratulations, Chris.
Right. Congratulations, my son, Chris, CO1 Music. We about to talk about that in a minute too. Yeah. But outside of that, I don't know. I'm enjoying like being able to communicate with people and like still like, you know, being able to have cool stories though. I think that's the cool thing. A lot of people are getting on like Zoom. We gotta do we're gonna do a Zoom when we get out. Like later tonight, we'll do a Zoom and we'll get like 15 of us on there. Those are always fun. Like I used to be like, why are people doing that? And then it's like I got on a couple of my family and it was really fun because everybody's talking to each other. But pretty cool. I just want everybody to continue to love and happiness once all this is over. That's all. That's the only thing.
For sure. And thank God for the technology that we have. Like if this had happened 20 years ago, just think, I mean, like doing the sessions that I'm doing all of this, like communicating with people, feeling less lonely, all that stuff. It's like, thank God for that, you know?
But man, everybody, we could talk for hours just because it's my brother. We didn't literally travel the world together more than once.
Yes, sir.
We're going to share some of his music. He's going to be on here some more. You might see a little collaboration video with us and some music. You never know. I ain't telling y'all, but we are, but we might not. But we definitely are, but we probably are going to. But anyway.
You never know.
Right, you know, literally my big homie because he's 6'6". My brother, one of my favorite players, Kaveh Rastegar. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much, man.
Man, thank you so much for having me, and thanks to Roland, your audience, for hanging with us.
Yes.
That was my bro, Mr. Kaveh Rastegar. As you can see, he's always up to something. Make sure you stay tuned. You never know what he's going to drop. He's, like I said, always producing something, singing on something, playing bass on something, doing something. So before we get out of here, I want to shout out Roland. I want to shout out Igor, Kristen, Brian, Nelly. Who else I want to shout out? My bro, Joe, the one and only. But until the next time, I'm out.